Thank you, and thank you, Ame sir, for comprehensive details. My views are a bit, holistic on that. I would give a very straight statement that spectrum management in Pakistan is not as per par excellence. There's no doubt about it. It's not a perfect spectrum management going on, neither in the past nor currently. Reason being, once we talk about the economic benefits, we have to look into three main verticals: short term, medium, and the long term approach. Apart from that, once we discuss, the spectrum strategy, it has to be based on 3D metrics approach, which is citizens of Pakistan and the economic growth. Number second is the industrial growth, and number third is the government. So once we consider these two metrics together and we see the spectrum release that was done in the past, that was not as per the global practices, to be very honest, in the last 1 decade. And I'll give you an example Pakistan almost lapsed a decade to release the spectrum for 3G, 4G. It was supposed to be released in 2005, 2006 maximum. We wasted almost 10 years to launch 3G, 4G technology. We should learn from our past mistakes for sure. And for the future, we should go in the right direction, which is very much important. At this stage of time, as we speak today, we need to leapfrog to get rid of the past mistakes and to include a very inclusive approach for the future for the spectrum strategy and the management. I'll give you one case study means that's recently been done in Pakistan, the current spectrum auction. It was a very deep design strategy. The purpose was a bit different. Like nobody has ever asked a question like why this spectrum auction was designed when the 5G technology is coming up. For the last 3, 4 years, there was no discussion on the spectrum auction. I'm talking about the just current spectrum auction that was closed. So why this spectrum auction was designed, nobody ever came up with this question, and I have not seen it earlier. It was based on a very deep design strategy to achieve certain objectives. The number one was, as Mr. Amir from PTA he mentioned, to uplift the quality of service that is related to the economic growth. There was no question about it. Number second, to exhaust the 4G spectrum or the 4G airwaves to increase the broadband penetration in Pakistan. We had available spectrum, was not supposed to be there, specifically under the COVID-19 conditions. That needs to be exhausted by any means. Number three, we were talking about the upcoming technologies, specifically the 5G one. If we are unable to utilize the 4G spectrum and unable to utilize the 4G broadband penetration, we could not leapfrog. There was no question about it. The financials are at the end. So the basic three pillars on which the spectrum auction or the Airwaves auction was designed are pretty much clear to us. And it was required to leapfrog. So the strategy was considered looking into multiple parameters, as I mentioned, the past stuff, the current requirement, the short, medium, and the long-term approach. Now we are into the medium-term approach. I think so. The next questions will cover that. So I'll stop over here. But in a nutshell, spectrum management is not a par excellence stuff. Neither any country is doing it par excellence. Let me also clear that, none of the South Asian country or even in the Middle East countries, they have utilized the spectrum to par excellence. It's a challenge globally. Two examples I'll give straight away. Like spectrum sharing. globally it's a problem. It's not, I'm not only talking about Pakistan or South Asia or the Middle East. Like the operators, telcos, CMOs are reluctant. Everybody has the spectrum available. One is serving in one area of, let's say in Pakistan, the other one is serving on the other area of Pakistan. It's a scarce, important resource contributing to the economy. Sharing of spectrum will lead to economic benefits that will double the bandwidth, double the economic impact, will improve the revenues for the telcos by sharing model. That is a challenge globally, also in Pakistan. Other example I can straight away give, like if you travel from Gwadar to Skardu, how many SIMs you are requiring? At least 5 SIMs. Don't you think like it's a problem? Yes, it is a problem. Like why somebody traveling from Gwadar to Skardu needs 5 SIMs? It's a genuine problem. So we have a list of problems. We know what exactly are the solutions. And with PTA, we know exactly how to solve them. So at least like we are moving forward in the right direction, and by acknowledging like what exactly are the problems and the interventions required, and those has to be done timely. So
Thank
that's my
you.
take on this. Thank you, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Omar Malik. I think it's very heartening to see that you are acknowledging that there are challenges, but then it's also heartening to see that you also are very open for coming to a right solution for those challenges as well. So on the same question, I'm going to move on to Shamil Haq, who's the industry representative